Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly achieve their goals while others struggle to make progress? The answer often lies not in talent or luck, but in the power of habits. Habits are the quiet forces shaping our everyday lives, creating a foundation on which success is built, one small choice at a time. Yet cultivating the right habits isn't always straightforward. It requires intention, consistency, and a roadmap. This book, Success Path: Strengthen Habits for Personal Growth, is designed to be that roadmap. Each chapter will guide you step by step through practical methods, encouraging you to build habits that align with your personal goals and aspirations. With relatable examples, simple explanations, and exercises tailored to reinforce each concept, this journey is all about helping you unlock the potential that lies within. Let's get started on the path to lasting growth, one habit at a time. Chapter 1: Starting Strong, Building a Foundation for Growth. Success begins with a choice, a conscious decision to set a foundation that supports your growth. Imagine building a house. You wouldn't start with the walls or roof without a solid base. In the same way, your journey to self-improvement requires a strong foundation of positive habits that support and guide your growth over time. A foundation isn't built overnight. It's crafted step by step, intentionally and consistently, to create stability. As we embark on this journey, the aim is to equip you with the right tools to start building this foundation from the ground up. At the heart of building a foundation is understanding the power of consistency. When we start something new, excitement often drives us, and we're eager to see results. But motivation alone isn't always enough. The real magic lies in consistency, the small, steady actions that add up over time. Consider something as simple as drinking water. You might have a goal to drink 8 glasses a day, knowing it's essential for your health. On day 1, you're excited and might reach that goal. But by day 3, when enthusiasm dips, the consistency you build from the beginning keeps you going. Each day, the small effort of reaching for that glass of water gradually becomes a habit, something you do automatically. This habit, small as it seems, contributes to your well-being and reinforces your commitment to self-care. In this way, habits form the core of our foundation. They aren't grand actions, but small, manageable steps repeated regularly. Setting realistic expectations is another key aspect of a strong foundation. Often, we set goals without considering how they fit into our daily routines. It's tempting to start big, to exercise for an hour every day, read a book a week, or completely revamp our diet overnight. But taking on too much at once can lead to burnout. Instead, focusing on small, achievable steps allows us to make steady progress without overwhelming ourselves. Take Sarah, a college student determined to improve her focus and productivity. Initially, she planned to study for 5 hours straight each day. While motivated, she soon found it challenging to sustain. Realizing this, Sarah adjusted her approach, setting a goal of studying for just 30 minutes, followed by a short break. This smaller goal was sustainable, and over time, she increased her study periods. Sarah's consistency paid off, and she found herself building a stronger foundation for productivity without feeling overwhelmed. Patience is another essential quality for building a foundation. In a world that values quick results, waiting can feel challenging. But meaningful change takes time, and developing habits requires patience with yourself and the process. Imagine a gardener planting seeds. After covering them with soil and watering them, there's no visible growth at first. But beneath the surface, roots are taking hold, setting the stage for future growth. Just because you don't see results right away doesn't mean your efforts aren't working. Each habit you build is like planting a seed, with every small action contributing to your foundation. Over time, with patience, you begin to notice the changes: a stronger mindset, healthier habits, a clearer path forward. Flexibility is another valuable component. Sometimes we may feel that missing a day or taking a break disrupts our progress, but the reality is that life isn't always predictable. Flexibility allows us to adapt without losing momentum. It means acknowledging that some days might be different, that missing one step doesn't mean starting from scratch. When unexpected challenges arise, being flexible helps us adjust while staying focused on our long-term goals. Take James, a young professional balancing work, family, and his health. He aimed to exercise daily, but his job sometimes demanded late hours. Rather than feeling discouraged, James learned to be flexible. On busy days, he shifted his workout to a quick stretch or walk. This adaptable mindset kept him motivated, reinforcing his commitment to a healthy lifestyle without rigid expectations. Starting small is powerful because it allows you to make steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. Instead of aiming for large goals that feel daunting, choose manageable actions that you can sustain over time. Let's say you want to build a habit of reading daily. Instead of committing to an hour every day, start with 10 minutes. This small step feels doable, and over time, those 10 minutes accumulate, creating a routine you're likely to stick with. Starting small doesn't mean limiting yourself. It means setting yourself up for success. Over time, as these actions become habits, you can build upon them, adding new goals and challenges while maintaining the strong foundation you've established. To build a strong foundation, embrace a mindset focused on growth, consistency, patience, and flexibility. Recognize that each small action you take contributes to your larger goals, and allow yourself the time and space to grow at your own pace. As you move forward, remember that this journey is uniquely yours, built one step at a time. There will be days of great progress and days that feel slower, but every step you take adds to the foundation you're creating. Before moving on to the next chapter, take a moment to reflect. What one small habit can you commit to today that will support your foundation for personal growth? Remember, starting strong is about beginning with intention, so choose one action that feels meaningful to you, no matter how small. Over time, this habit will become part of the strong, resilient foundation guiding you on your path to success. Chapter 2. Vision and Goals. Defining your success path. Imagine setting off on a road trip without knowing the destination. You might enjoy the scenery along the way, but you'd likely end up lost or feeling uncertain about where you're going. In the same way, having a clear vision for your personal growth is essential. It acts as the guiding light that keeps you on course, helping you stay motivated and focused. Vision is more than just an idea. It's a powerful image of where you want to go and who you want to become. By setting a meaningful vision, you lay the foundation for creating goals that bring that vision to life. This chapter is all about defining that vision and setting clear, achievable goals that act as the stepping stones along your path. Having a vision is essential because it gives you direction. It's easy to feel lost or aimless without a sense of where you're headed. A strong vision doesn't just outline the end result, but creates a vivid image that inspires you along the way. For example, if you envision yourself as someone who leads a balanced, fulfilling life with strong relationships and a rewarding career, you're setting a powerful standard for how you want to shape your actions. This vision becomes a source of motivation that pushes you forward, especially on challenging days. Vision isn't about creating a perfect life. It's about defining what success genuinely means to you so that your efforts are aligned with your true values and aspirations. Once you have a vision, the next step is to break it down into specific, actionable goals. Goals serve as checkpoints on the path to achieving your vision. They make the journey manageable by allowing you to focus on concrete steps rather than a vague, distant future. Consider Mia, a teacher who wanted to improve her health and fitness. Her vision was to feel energetic, confident, and strong in her body, which motivated her to make positive changes. To bring this vision to life, Mia set small, achievable goals like walking 10,000 steps a day, preparing homemade meals, and drinking enough water. Each goal represented a piece of her larger vision. By focusing on these smaller, practical steps, Mia was able to make steady progress and saw her vision gradually becoming reality. An essential part of goal setting is making your goals both specific and measurable. The more clearly defined your goals are, the easier it is to track progress and stay motivated. For instance, if your vision is to grow your career, a specific goal might be to complete a professional course within 3 months. This goal has a clear deadline and outcome, giving you a sense of achievement when it's completed. Setting measurable goals makes it possible to recognize your progress, which is incredibly motivating. Breaking down large goals into smaller, measurable actions is like taking steps on a staircase. Each one brings you closer to the top without feeling overwhelming. While vision and goals are closely linked, it's important to remember that goals may need to be adjusted along the way. Flexibility allows you to adapt without losing sight of your ultimate vision. Life is dynamic and circumstances can change, but having a clear vision ensures you don't lose focus. Let's take the example of Alex, a new entrepreneur with a vision of building a successful business that positively impacts the community. He set goals to network with potential clients, launch a website, and host monthly community events. However, when unexpected challenges arose, Alex had to adjust his goals, scaling back on events and focusing on building his online presence. By being flexible, Alex stayed aligned with his vision without feeling discouraged by the need to change course. This adaptability allowed him to make progress, even if the journey took unexpected turns. A meaningful vision is rooted in your personal values, which gives it depth and relevance. Often, we set goals based on external pressures or what we think we should be doing. However, goals that lack personal connection can feel empty or unsustainable. For instance, Lucy, a working professional, felt pressured to pursue a high-paying career in finance, despite her interest in teaching. She struggled with her goals because they weren't aligned with her passion. After some reflection, Lucy redefined her vision to focus on a career that allowed her to make a positive impact on others. She chose to transition into education, setting goals that aligned with her new vision. This change brought renewed energy and satisfaction to her journey, showing that meaningful goals often stem from authentic values. As you clarify your vision and set your goals, keep in mind the importance of patience. Achieving significant goals takes time, and progress is rarely a straight line. There will be setbacks and moments when motivation wanes. During these times, reconnecting with your vision can provide the inspiration needed to keep moving forward. The journey may not always be easy, but having a clear image of what you're working toward reminds you why each step matters. Consider your vision as a compass. Though the path may be winding, it keeps you oriented and on course. At the end of this chapter, take a moment to reflect on what your vision looks like and what goals will guide you toward it. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become? And what small, achievable goals can I set to bring that vision to life? Write down one goal that aligns with your vision, no matter how small. By defining a clear purpose and setting concrete steps, you're taking the first steps on a path that leads to fulfillment and growth. Remember, every journey begins with a vision, and every step you take brings you closer to the future you're creating. Chapter 3: Mindset Shift: Cultivating a Positive Perspective. Our mindset shapes how we experience the world. It's the lens through which we interpret challenges, setbacks, and opportunities, influencing not just our thoughts, but our actions. Developing a positive mindset is essential for personal growth because it enables us to approach life with resilience and openness. A positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or forcing happiness. It's about recognizing our power to choose a constructive response, even in challenging situations. This chapter focuses on the transformative impact of a positive perspective and offers insights on how to cultivate this mindset as a foundation for lasting growth. A positive mindset begins with self-awareness. Often we carry beliefs about ourselves and our abilities that are limiting. These beliefs, known as a fixed mindset, can create a mental barrier to progress. Someone with a fixed mindset might believe that talent or intelligence is unchangeable, so they're less likely to take risks or embrace new challenges. In contrast, a growth mindset is grounded in the belief that abilities can be developed through effort and learning. When you adopt a growth mindset, you're open to improvement, more resilient in the face of setbacks, and willing to view challenges as opportunities to learn. This shift in perspective is crucial for personal development because it empowers you to embrace growth rather than feel trapped by self-imposed limits. Let's look at how a growth mindset works in real life. Emma, a young artist, loved painting but often doubted her abilities. Whenever she received constructive feedback, her fixed mindset would take over, and she felt discouraged, thinking she simply wasn't talented enough. However, after learning about the growth mindset, Emma started seeing feedback as an opportunity to improve rather than a judgment of her talent. She began to focus on practicing new techniques, experimenting with different styles, and using feedback to refine her skills. Over time, Emma noticed improvement in her work, and her confidence grew. By shifting her mindset, she unlocked her potential to grow as an artist and, more importantly, enjoyed the process. Her story highlights that adopting a growth mindset isn't about becoming instantly successful, it's about valuing progress and persistence. Another key element of a positive perspective is the ability to reframe challenges. Life isn't without obstacles, but how we interpret them determines their impact on us. Reframing is the practice of consciously viewing situations in a more constructive way. Imagine you're preparing for an important presentation at work, and you're feeling anxious about the possibility of making mistakes. A fixed mindset might interpret this as a sign of inadequacy, leading you to believe that you're not cut out for this. However, a growth-oriented perspective would see this as an opportunity to learn. Perhaps the nerves are a signal that you care about doing well, and a few practice rounds could boost your confidence. Instead of viewing challenges as threats, reframing allows us to see them as valuable experiences that contribute to our growth. This approach not only reduces stress but builds resilience, enabling us to move forward with a positive outlook. A powerful tool in cultivating a positive mindset is practicing gratitude. Gratitude is more than just feeling thankful. It's a way of shifting our focus to the good in our lives, even during difficult times. Research shows that regularly practicing gratitude can increase feelings of happiness, reduce stress, and improve mental resilience. Consider Sarah, who struggled with work-related stress. She felt overwhelmed by her responsibilities and often focused on what she hadn't accomplished. At a friend's suggestion, Sarah started a gratitude journal, where she wrote down 3 things she appreciated each day. Over time, this simple practice shifted her focus from her frustrations to the positive aspects of her life. She found herself feeling more balanced, less stressed, and better able to handle challenges. Through gratitude, Sarah cultivated a mindset that welcomed positivity, which helped her approach her work and life with greater calm and clarity. Cultivating a positive perspective also involves self-compassion. Self-compassion is the practice of treating ourselves with kindness, especially when things don't go as planned. Too often, we are our own harshest critics, quick to judge our mistakes or shortcomings. However, self-compassion reminds us that everyone faces setbacks, and it's okay to make mistakes. When we show ourselves the same kindness we'd offer to a friend, we create an environment for growth and resilience. Think of Michael, a business owner who struggled after a failed project. Initially, he was filled with self-doubt and frustration. But instead of dwelling on what went wrong, he practiced self-compassion by acknowledging his feelings and reminding himself that setbacks are a natural part of growth. This mindset helped him recover quickly and allowed him to use the experience as a learning opportunity. Self-compassion isn't about avoiding responsibility. It's about supporting yourself through challenges so that you can continue moving forward with a positive perspective. As you work on cultivating a positive mindset, remember that this process takes time and practice. Mindset isn't something that changes overnight. It requires consistent effort and patience. Some days will be easier than others, and setbacks are part of the journey. The goal isn't to eliminate all negative thoughts, but to develop the resilience and flexibility to handle them constructively. Each time you choose a positive response or reframe a challenging situation, you're reinforcing your mindset and building a foundation for long-term growth. To put this concept into practice, consider this. Think of one challenge or setback you've recently faced. Reflect on how you responded to it, and ask yourself how you could approach a similar situation with a growth-oriented perspective. Could you reframe it as an opportunity to learn? Could you treat yourself with more kindness and self-compassion? By taking these small steps, you're gradually cultivating a positive mindset that will empower you to navigate life's ups and downs with resilience and confidence. Remember, a positive perspective is a choice, a powerful one that can transform your path to growth. Chapter 4: Daily Momentum, Embracing Small Steps Forward. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the sheer size of a goal, only to find that getting started was the hardest part? It's a common experience, Looking at a big goal can feel daunting, even paralyzing. The good news is that achieving personal growth doesn't require grand gestures or giant leaps. Instead, it's the small, consistent steps we take every day that create lasting progress. In this chapter, we'll explore how building momentum through small actions can make even the most challenging goals manageable. Embracing these small steps, repeated over time, creates a steady rhythm that propels us forward and keeps us focused on our path. Momentum starts with action, however small. Often, the key to overcoming resistance is to take just one small step, no matter how insignificant it might seem. For instance, imagine you've set a goal to read more books, but the thought of completing a full book feels intimidating. Instead of committing to an hour of reading, try reading for just 5 minutes each day. This small start can build momentum that, over time, leads to a consistent reading habit. With each passing day, those 5 minutes become easier, eventually turning into a natural part of your routine. Momentum builds as each action reinforces the next, transforming your goal from an abstract ambition into something tangible. Consider the example of Alex, who wanted to improve his physical fitness. Initially, he felt pressure to follow an intense workout regimen, but this only left him feeling discouraged. Realizing that starting small might be more effective, Alex set a modest goal of 10 minutes of exercise each day. At first, he used this time for a brisk walk, and soon, as his confidence grew, he began adding new activities like jogging and light weights. Over time, those 10 minutes expanded, and Alex found himself building a sustainable fitness routine. What made the difference for Alex wasn't a sudden shift or a rigorous plan, but the consistency of his small steps that created lasting progress. When we create momentum, we're also developing a sense of commitment to our goals. Each small action reinforces our dedication, making it easier to stay on track, even on difficult days. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't rely on perfection. Inevitably, there will be days when motivation is low or other responsibilities take priority. However, when you've built a habit of taking small, manageable steps, you're more likely to maintain progress, even with minor setbacks. Think of momentum like pushing a swing. Each small push keeps it moving. The effort doesn't need to be intense, it just needs to be steady. Over time, this commitment becomes second nature, and achieving your goals feels more like a natural progression than a series of uphill battles. Small steps not only create momentum, but also build confidence. When we achieve even minor progress, we gain a sense of accomplishment that motivates us to keep going. Take Sarah, a writer who struggled with self-doubt and found it challenging to write regularly. Instead of pressuring herself to complete entire chapters, Sarah committed to writing just one paragraph each day. This small, achievable goal took away the fear of failure, and each paragraph she completed reminded her of her capability. With time, she not only improved her writing but also developed the confidence to tackle larger projects. Her experience shows that small steps allow us to build both momentum and self-belief, which are essential components of personal growth. A positive aspect of building momentum through small steps is that it allows us to track our progress in real time. When we take tiny, measurable actions, we can see results more clearly, making our efforts feel worthwhile. This immediate feedback can be incredibly motivating because it helps us stay connected to our goals. Consider Tom, a student aiming to learn a new language. He set an ambitious goal of speaking fluently within a year, but this felt overwhelming. By breaking it down into daily actions, learning 5 new words each day, he could track his progress and feel accomplished with each new word learned. This approach kept his momentum alive, as he saw steady progress each day. Tom's journey highlights that seeing growth, even in small increments, reinforces our motivation to keep going. Momentum also encourages us to embrace a mindset focused on progress rather than perfection. When we emphasize small actions, we're less likely to feel discouraged by minor setbacks. A single missed day or a less than perfect effort doesn't feel as overwhelming because our focus is on consistency, not flawlessness. A great example of this is Hannah, who wanted to improve her mindfulness practice. She initially planned to meditate for 30 minutes each day, but when she missed a session, she often felt discouraged. Realizing that her approach might need adjusting, she instead committed to just 5 minutes daily. This small, manageable practice allowed her to be consistent without the pressure of a lengthy commitment. The result was a steady, satisfying sense of progress that kept her engaged in her mindfulness journey. As you reflect on the idea of building daily momentum, consider how small steps might work for you. Momentum isn't about reaching the finish line quickly, it's about making steady, intentional progress that brings you closer to your goals. At the end of each day, these small actions accumulate, creating a foundation that supports your growth over time. No matter how distant your ultimate goal may feel, remember that each small step brings it closer. Before moving on, take a moment to reflect. What small action can I take today that will create momentum toward my goal? Think of one step, however minor, that you can commit to each day. As you begin this process, trust that these small actions have the power to carry you forward, helping you embrace growth with confidence, one step at a time. Chapter 5: Breaking Barriers, Overcoming Self-Doubt. Self-doubt is something we all face, no matter how accomplished we are. It's that small but persistent voice questioning whether we're truly capable, worthy, or ready to achieve our goals. While it's natural to experience self-doubt, allowing it to dictate our actions can hold us back from growth and success. This chapter is dedicated to understanding how to overcome self-doubt, embrace confidence, and move forward despite uncertainties. By learning to break through these mental barriers, we unlock our full potential and discover that we are often more capable than we realize. Self-doubt is often rooted in past experiences, failures, or moments when we felt out of our depth. It's a defense mechanism, aiming to protect us from disappointment or failure. However, when unchecked, self-doubt can stop us from taking risks and exploring new possibilities. Imagine you've been offered an exciting new role at work, but the responsibilities seem intimidating. Self-doubt might tell you, you're not experienced enough for this, or what if you fail? Yet, pushing past this doubt could lead to personal and professional growth. Recognizing self-doubt as a natural, temporary feeling, rather than a reflection of reality, empowers us to make choices based on our potential rather than our fears. One way to combat self-doubt is to focus on our strengths. Often, self-doubt emerges when we dwell on our perceived weaknesses rather than our capabilities. Take Mia, for example, who wanted to start her own business. She was passionate about her idea, but frequently doubted her ability to succeed, fixating on her lack of experience. To counter this, Mia began listing her skills and experiences that aligned with her goals. She reminded herself of her creativity, her knack for problem-solving, and her strong network of supporters. This exercise not only shifted her focus to her strengths, but also gave her the confidence to take her first steps. When we recognize our unique abilities, self-doubt has less power over our choices, and we're able to make progress with a renewed sense of confidence. Another useful approach to overcoming self-doubt is reframing mistakes as opportunities for growth. Often, we fear failure because we view it as evidence of our limitations. However, mistakes are an inevitable part of any learning process. Consider Tom, a musician who hesitated to share his music publicly due to self-doubt. He worried that any negative feedback would confirm his fear that he wasn't good enough. Over time, however, Tom decided to embrace feedback as a tool for improvement. Instead of interpreting critiques as personal failures, he saw them as insights to refine his skills. This shift in perspective transformed his relationship with self-doubt. Rather than fearing failure, he welcomed it as a stepping stone toward mastery. By seeing mistakes as opportunities to learn, we begin to dismantle the fear that often fuels self-doubt. Surrounding ourselves with supportive people also plays a vital role in overcoming self-doubt. When we're encouraged by those who believe in us, we're more likely to believe in ourselves. Think of Lucy, a young designer who struggled with imposter syndrome when presenting her work. She feared that others would see her as inexperienced or lacking in talent. However, she found support in a close friend who reminded her of her unique style and dedication. With this reassurance, Lucy gradually gained confidence in her abilities and learned to silence her inner critic. Having a trusted circle of friends or mentors can serve as a grounding force, helping us see our worth more clearly and reminding us of our capabilities when self-doubt creeps in. Challenging negative self-talk is another effective way to overcome self-doubt. Our inner dialogue shapes our beliefs, and if we constantly tell ourselves, "I can't do this," it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. By consciously replacing negative thoughts with positive affirmations, we start to break free from the grip of self-doubt. Consider James, who often doubted his public speaking skills. Whenever he had to speak in front of an audience, his mind was filled with self-critical thoughts like, "Everyone's going to see me mess up." Recognizing how damaging these thoughts were, James made a habit of countering each negative thought with a positive one, such as, "I've practiced and prepared. I am ready." Over time, this practice shifted his mindset and reduced his anxiety. Replacing negative self-talk with constructive affirmations helps us adopt a more empowering outlook, making it easier to push through self-doubt and embrace challenges. Developing resilience is also essential for breaking free from self-doubt. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep moving forward despite difficulties. When we're resilient, we see challenges as temporary and surmountable, which lessens the influence of self-doubt. Anna, for instance, wanted to write a book, but doubted her ability to finish such a long project. She feared that she'd lose motivation or get stuck halfway. Instead of letting these doubts deter her, Anna chose to focus on one chapter at a time. She reminded herself that she didn't need to have everything figured out right away. She just needed to keep going. This resilience enabled her to break the project into manageable steps, and eventually, her book became a reality. By building resilience, we learn to approach goals with a mindset that embraces challenges as part of the journey. In overcoming self-doubt, it's crucial to remember that progress is more important than perfection. Self-doubt often arises from the belief that we must excel immediately or perform flawlessly. This belief sets an unrealistic standard that few can meet, and it can quickly become discouraging. Instead, focusing on steady, small improvements allows us to grow without the pressure of perfection. Take Ben, who wanted to improve his fitness but felt discouraged by others' achievements. Rather than comparing himself, Ben decided to focus on his own progress, celebrating each small improvement as a victory. By valuing progress over perfection, Ben found it easier to stay motivated and gradually built the confidence he needed to keep pushing forward. As you consider ways to break through your own barriers of self-doubt, think about this. What is one area of your life where self-doubt holds you back, and how can you reframe it as an opportunity for growth? Identify a small action that allows you to face your doubts rather than avoid them. Remember, overcoming self-doubt isn't about eliminating it completely. It's about building the resilience to move forward despite it. Each time you take a step beyond your doubts, you're strengthening your confidence, expanding your comfort zone, and moving closer to the person you're meant to become. Chapter 6. Strengthen routine. Developing consistent habits. Routines are the hidden scaffolding of our lives. The habits we practice daily shape our actions, influence our mindset, and create a structure that supports our growth. Establishing a positive routine is one of the most effective ways to build consistency and make progress toward our goals. While motivation can be unpredictable, a well-designed routine keeps us moving forward, even on days when enthusiasm is low. This chapter focuses on the power of routines, exploring how they create stability, reinforce habits, and pave the way for sustainable growth. One of the greatest benefits of routines is that they reduce decision fatigue. Every day we make countless decisions, from what to wear to what tasks to prioritize. Each choice requires mental energy, and over time, these decisions can drain our motivation. Routines simplify this process by creating a set rhythm, allowing us to move through our day with greater ease. Think about something as simple as a morning routine. When you wake up, brush your teeth, and make a cup of coffee without having to decide each step, you save mental energy for more important tasks. With a solid routine, you're able to reserve your energy for moments that truly matter, making it easier to focus on long-term goals. Routines also help to build momentum by setting a predictable pattern of behavior. When we perform an action consistently, it becomes easier to repeat, eventually turning into a habit. For instance, consider Lisa, who wanted to incorporate exercise into her daily life. Initially, she found it difficult to make time for it, often skipping days or feeling too tired. To build consistency, she created a simple routine. Every morning after brushing her teeth, she'd put on her workout clothes and spend just 10 minutes exercising. By attaching her new habit to an established routine, Lisa found it easier to follow through. Over time, those 10 minutes grew into longer sessions, and exercise became a natural part of her day. Lisa's story shows how routines create a supportive environment for new habits to take root, making it easier to maintain consistency. Another advantage of routines is their ability to ground us during stressful times. Life can be unpredictable, and when challenges arise, routines provide a sense of stability. They serve as an anchor, offering a familiar structure that can help us stay focused and calm. Think of John, who faced a period of uncertainty after losing his job. Although he was struggling, he maintained his morning routine, which included a walk, breakfast, and some time dedicated to personal development. This routine gave him a sense of purpose and helped him stay grounded as he looked for new opportunities. Having a routine allowed John to remain proactive and hopeful, even in difficult circumstances. By sticking to a routine, he managed to keep his spirits up and maintain a positive mindset, demonstrating how routines can be a source of resilience. Routines are especially valuable for breaking bad habits and replacing them with positive ones. When we establish a routine that includes actions aligned with our goals, it becomes easier to let go of habits that don't serve us. For example, Sarah wanted to reduce the time she spent on social media. She noticed that she often scrolled through her phone in the evenings, which affected her sleep and productivity. To replace this habit, she created a bedtime routine focused on relaxation and reflection. Instead of reaching for her phone, she started reading a book for 15 minutes and writing down her thoughts for the day. This new routine gradually became her preferred way to unwind, helping her let go of her social media habit. By replacing an old habit with a new, intentional routine, Sarah experienced a positive shift in her daily life and saw improvements in her focus and rest. Creating a routine that supports your goals doesn't have to be complicated. Often, the most effective routines are simple and easy to implement. Start by identifying one or two small actions that align with your goals and build them into a routine. Let's look at David, who wanted to improve his focus at work. He noticed that starting his day by checking emails often led to distractions. Instead, he decided to create a morning routine that set a productive tone. Each morning, he would spend 10 minutes planning his tasks for the day and then dedicate 30 minutes to focused work before checking emails. This routine helped him prioritize his most important tasks, making his workday more productive. Over time, this small shift became a habit that significantly improved his focus and efficiency. David's experience illustrates how a simple routine can make a substantial impact, especially when it aligns with personal goals. One of the most rewarding aspects of routines is that they make progress feel attainable. When we break down our goals into daily actions, we're able to see steady improvement, which builds motivation. For instance, if you're learning a new language, dedicating just 10 minutes each day to practice might seem small, but over weeks and months, those minutes add up. This consistent effort helps you track your growth, reinforcing your commitment to the routine. By focusing on small, manageable actions, you're able to make progress without feeling overwhelmed. This approach creates a sense of accomplishment that fuels your motivation and encourages you to keep going. As you consider building routines that align with your goals, remember that flexibility is key. While routines provide structure, it's important to allow room for adjustments. Life changes, and routines may need to adapt to fit new circumstances. Think of routines as a guide rather than a strict rule. If you miss a day or need to modify your routine temporarily, it's okay. The goal is to create a sustainable pattern that supports your growth, not to strive for perfection. Allowing yourself the freedom to adjust ensures that your routine remains relevant and beneficial over time. To put this concept into practice, ask yourself, what one small action can I add to my daily routine that aligns with my goals? Think of something simple and achievable, something you can repeat consistently without feeling pressured. Remember, routines are built gradually. Start with one step and let it become part of your day. As you build momentum, consider adding more actions that support your journey. Over time, you'll find that these routines not only make your days more structured, but also bring you closer to your goals with each passing day. Chapter 7. Staying Resilient, Turning Setbacks into Opportunities. Setbacks are an inevitable part of any journey, especially when you're working toward meaningful goals. We all encounter challenges that test our patience, confidence, and determination. While setbacks can be disheartening, they also hold potential for growth and learning. Resilience is the quality that allows us to adapt and move forward despite these obstacles. This chapter focuses on developing resilience and seeing setbacks as opportunities rather than roadblocks. By shifting our perspective, we can use challenges as stepping stones on the path to growth. Resilience begins with accepting that setbacks are a natural part of progress. Often, we expect our journey to be smooth, picturing success as a straight line moving steadily upward. However, real growth usually involves a series of ups and downs. A resilient mindset understands that setbacks don't signify failure. They're simply moments that require us to adjust our approach. For example, consider Rachel, an aspiring musician. She dedicated hours to her craft, but when her first major performance didn't go as planned, she felt defeated. Initially, Rachel viewed this setback as a reflection of her abilities. However, by embracing resilience, she came to see it as a valuable learning experience. She analyzed what went wrong, adjusted her preparation methods, and used the experience to improve her next performance. Rachel's story highlights how setbacks can provide insight and motivation if we're willing to learn from them. An important aspect of resilience is viewing setbacks as opportunities for self-reflection. When things don't go according to plan, it's easy to become frustrated or discouraged. However, each setback offers a chance to pause and reassess. Self-reflection allows us to consider what factors contributed to the outcome, what we could do differently, and how we can improve moving forward. For instance, take Michael, a young entrepreneur who launched a startup that didn't gain traction initially. Rather than giving up, Michael used the setback to evaluate his approach. He realized he needed a better understanding of his target audience and made adjustments accordingly. By using the setback as a source of insight, Michael refined his strategy and eventually saw his efforts pay off. This ability to reflect and adjust is a core component of resilience, turning setbacks into valuable lessons that guide future decisions. Another key to resilience is developing a growth-oriented perspective, which sees setbacks as temporary challenges rather than permanent failures. When we adopt this mindset, we recognize that each setback is simply a moment in a longer journey. Take Emma, a student aiming to improve her academic performance. After struggling with a difficult exam, she initially felt disheartened, believing she just wasn't good at this subject. However, by embracing a growth mindset, Emma reminded herself that skills are developed through practice and persistence. She sought extra help, adjusted her study routine, and gradually improved her performance. Emma's experience illustrates how a growth-oriented perspective allows us to approach setbacks with optimism, understanding that temporary challenges don't define our overall potential. Resilience also involves practicing self-compassion. Often, when we face setbacks, we're our own harshest critics, blaming ourselves for not being good enough. However, self-compassion reminds us that setbacks happen to everyone, and that it's okay to make mistakes. Treating ourselves with kindness during difficult times creates a supportive environment that allows us to bounce back more easily. Imagine Sarah, who had recently set a goal to improve her fitness by running regularly. When she missed a few days due to a busy schedule, she initially felt frustrated and discouraged. However, instead of criticizing herself, Sarah reminded herself that life sometimes gets in the way and that missing a few days didn't erase her progress. With this compassionate perspective, Sarah was able to return to her routine without feeling defeated. Self-compassion is a powerful tool in resilience, allowing us to acknowledge setbacks without letting them undermine our confidence. Building resilience also involves staying adaptable. Life is full of unexpected twists, and sometimes our plans need to shift to accommodate new circumstances. Being flexible allows us to adapt to changes rather than feeling defeated by them. Take the example of Tom, a travel enthusiast who planned a year-long trip but had to return home early due to unforeseen circumstances. Initially, he felt disappointed, but rather than letting the setback define his experience, Tom adapted his plans. He focused on exploring local adventures, learning new skills, and connecting with friends. This adaptability allowed him to make the most of his situation, showing that resilience often requires us to adjust our path without losing sight of our overall goals. Flexibility enables us to approach setbacks with an open mind, turning challenges into opportunities for growth and creativity. Finally, resilience grows stronger with each challenge we overcome. Each setback we face and learn to navigate builds our ability to handle future obstacles with confidence. Think of resilience like a muscle. It strengthens with use. With each setback, we become more equipped to handle the next, learning valuable lessons along the way. Imagine Ben, who aspired to become a public speaker. His first few attempts were met with anxiety and self-doubt, but he didn't let this stop him. Each experience taught him something new, from pacing himself to engaging his audience. Over time, he gained the confidence to speak comfortably in front of others, all thanks to his resilience in the face of initial setbacks. Ben's journey illustrates how resilience is built gradually, one challenge at a time, and how each experience adds to our strength. As you reflect on the concept of resilience, consider this. What is one recent setback you've faced, and how can you use it as an opportunity to grow? Take a moment to analyze what went wrong, identify what you can learn from the experience, and think about how you might approach a similar situation differently in the future. Remember, setbacks are part of the journey, not the end of it. By embracing resilience, you're choosing to grow through challenges, using each experience to strengthen your ability to navigate life's ups and downs with confidence and purpose. Chapter 8. Finding Focus. Prioritizing what truly matters. In our fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere, constantly competing for our attention. Staying focused on what truly matters can be a challenge, but developing this skill is essential for personal growth and achieving meaningful goals. Focus enables us to channel our energy toward actions that align with our priorities, rather than getting sidetracked by trivial matters. This chapter explores how to identify and prioritize what's important, creating a clear path toward our goals. By learning to focus on what matters most, we gain a sense of purpose and make steady progress in our personal journey. A focused mind begins with clarity. Before we can focus, we need to understand what we value and why these values matter. Imagine embarking on a road trip without a destination in mind. You might enjoy the scenery, but you could end up feeling lost. The same principle applies to our personal goals. When we clarify our values, it becomes easier to identify what we want to focus on. Take Sarah, a young professional who felt overwhelmed by her many responsibilities. She realized that, while her career was important, her relationships and health were equally valuable. By identifying her top priorities, Sarah was able to focus on creating balance in her life, dedicating time to her work, relationships, and self-care. Clarifying our values helps us determine where to direct our energy, making it easier to set meaningful goals and avoid distractions. Once we're clear on our values, the next step is to set priorities. Setting priorities involves deciding which tasks, goals, or relationships deserve the most attention in our lives. It's a way of filtering out the noise and focusing on what will bring us closer to our vision. For instance, consider David, who wanted to advance in his career but found himself constantly overwhelmed by minor tasks. He made a habit of asking himself, "Does this action support my main goals?" By regularly reassessing his activities, David was able to focus on projects that aligned with his career aspirations, allowing him to make meaningful progress without getting bogged down by unnecessary distractions. Setting priorities helps us focus our efforts on the most impactful actions, allowing us to achieve more with less stress. An effective technique for maintaining focus is learning to say no to distractions. Often we feel compelled to take on more tasks, thinking that saying yes will make us more productive or helpful. However, taking on too many commitments can dilute our focus and lead to burnout. Learning to say no isn't about rejecting others. It's about protecting our time and energy for what truly matters. Take Alex, for example, a student who is passionate about both his studies and volunteering. Initially, he tried to juggle multiple extracurriculars along with his academics, but he soon realized he was stretching himself thin. By setting clear boundaries and learning to say no to some commitments, Alex found that he could give his best to his studies and the volunteer work he truly cared about. Saying no allows us to focus fully on our priorities, ensuring we can give them the attention they deserve. Another powerful tool for maintaining focus is breaking large goals into smaller, manageable tasks. When a goal feels overwhelming, it's easy to lose focus or procrastinate. By dividing big goals into smaller steps, we make them less intimidating and more achievable. Consider Emily, who had a goal of writing a novel. The idea of completing an entire book seemed daunting, and she often felt discouraged before she even began. To overcome this, Emily broke her goal into daily tasks, committing to write just 1 page each day. This small, consistent effort allowed her to make steady progress, eventually completing her novel. Breaking goals into smaller steps keeps us engaged and focused, making it easier to tackle large projects without feeling overwhelmed. In addition to these strategies, creating a dedicated space for focus can enhance productivity. Our environment has a powerful influence on our ability to concentrate. When we establish a designated space free from distractions, we create a mental association with focus and productivity. Think about James, who struggled to concentrate on his work while at home, where he was surrounded by distractions. To improve his focus, he set up a small corner in his room specifically for work. By keeping this space organized and free of distractions, James was able to cultivate a focused mindset whenever he sat down to work. Establishing a dedicated space signals to our brain that it's time to focus, making it easier to stay on task. Developing focus also requires managing our energy. It's essential to recognize when we're most productive and to align our tasks with these peak energy times. Each person's energy levels fluctuate throughout the day, so finding your focus hours can make a significant difference. Take Anna, who noticed she was most focused and productive in the morning. By scheduling her most important tasks during these hours, Anna was able to make better use of her energy and complete her work efficiently. Aligning our tasks with our energy levels allows us to work smarter, not harder, ensuring that we're giving our best effort to what matters most. Staying focused is ultimately about consistency. Building a focused mindset doesn't happen overnight. It requires daily practice and commitment. When we consistently practice focus, it becomes a habit that supports our personal growth and goals. Think of focus like a muscle. It strengthens with use. The more we dedicate ourselves to focusing on our priorities, the easier it becomes to resist distractions and stay aligned with our values. With time, this consistent focus transforms our approach to challenges, enabling us to navigate them with clarity and purpose. As you reflect on the importance of focus, consider this question. What is one area of your life that could benefit from greater focus? And what small action can you take today to make it a priority? Whether it's setting aside dedicated time, creating a distraction-free space, or learning to say no to certain commitments, taking a single step toward focus can make a meaningful difference. Remember, focusing on what truly matters is a powerful choice, one that brings you closer to your goals and creates a sense of purpose in everything you do. Chapter 9. Growth in Action. Applying New Habits to Real Life. Growth is more than just a collection of good intentions and positive habits. It's about putting what we've learned into action in real-life situations. While developing routines, focus, and resilience are essential, their true value lies in our ability to apply them meaningfully. This chapter emphasizes the importance of integrating new habits into daily life, allowing them to support our growth in practical ways. When we see our personal development reflected in everyday actions, we realize the impact of our efforts and strengthen our commitment to continued growth. Applying new habits requires awareness of how they fit into our current lives. It's easy to start a habit in a controlled environment, like practicing gratitude during a calm morning routine, but applying it in the face of life's challenges is where growth truly takes root. For instance, consider Ben, who had been working on becoming more patient. He practiced mindfulness techniques every day, yet found himself growing frustrated during a busy commute. Recognizing the opportunity to put his patience into action, Ben took a deep breath, reminded himself of his practice, and chose to respond calmly. This conscious application of his habit transformed a potentially stressful situation into a chance for growth. Ben's experience highlights how actively applying habits to real situations strengthens them, helping us bridge the gap between practice and real-life application. One of the most effective ways to apply new habits is to seek opportunities that naturally align with our routines. When we identify everyday moments that relate to our goals, we're more likely to integrate these habits smoothly. Take Sarah, for instance, who wanted to improve her public speaking skills. Rather than waiting for formal presentations, she sought small chances to practice speaking confidently, like sharing her ideas during team meetings or leading discussions with friends. By looking for simple, everyday opportunities, Sarah was able to apply her new skills gradually, which helped her grow comfortable over time. This approach allowed her to see growth not as a separate activity, but as a natural part of her daily life. Embracing these small opportunities reinforces our habits and helps us build confidence as we progress. Real-life application also involves adapting our habits to suit different situations. Life rarely follows a predictable pattern, so flexibility is essential in maintaining our habits in various contexts. For instance, Alex was committed to exercising regularly, but often traveled for work. Instead of letting his routine fall apart during trips, he adapted his exercise routine to suit his environment, opting for simple hotel room exercises or going for a walk whenever possible. This adaptability kept his habit consistent, regardless of location, and reinforced his commitment to growth. Alex's experience underscores the importance of flexibility in sustaining habits, as adapting them to new situations helps us stay aligned with our goals without feeling restricted by specific conditions. Incorporating new habits also means recognizing when to push ourselves beyond our comfort zone. Growth often requires us to try new things, even when they feel challenging. Take Emma, who wanted to become more organized but initially struggled to maintain a planner. After some effort, she became comfortable with using it for personal tasks but felt hesitant about applying this structure to her work life. By challenging herself to expand this habit into her professional routine, Emma was able to take her organization skills to the next level, creating a more balanced and productive approach to her day. Her story shows that stepping out of our comfort zones can help deepen our habits, allowing us to apply them more broadly and confidently. Accountability is another valuable factor when integrating new habits into daily life. Sharing our goals with others can provide motivation and support, making it easier to stay committed. Consider Michael, who aimed to read more as part of his personal growth. He decided to join a book club, where he not only read regularly, but also engaged in discussions that expanded his understanding. By involving others in his journey, Michael added a layer of accountability that kept him motivated and encouraged him to stick with his reading habit. Connecting with others who share similar goals creates a supportive network, reinforcing our commitment and making the journey feel more rewarding. An essential aspect of growth in action is embracing setbacks as learning experiences. No habit is immune to disruption, and there will inevitably be days when things don't go as planned. Embracing these moments as part of the journey allows us to keep going without feeling discouraged. For instance, Laura had been practicing self-care through regular meditation, but a demanding week left her too exhausted to follow through. Instead of feeling defeated, she reflected on her situation and realized she could adjust her meditation practice to shorter sessions during busy periods. This mindset shift allowed her to stay committed to her habit while remaining adaptable. Embracing setbacks as opportunities for adjustment ensures that we remain resilient, even when life throws unexpected challenges our way. Ultimately, applying growth habits in real life transforms them from isolated practices into a lifestyle. The more consistently we incorporate them, the more natural they become. influencing our actions and mindset. Think of habits as seeds we plant and nurture daily. Each small effort strengthens their roots until they become a seamless part of who we are. When we actively apply our habits, they become not just things we do, but reflections of the growth we strive to embody. As you consider putting your growth into action, reflect on this question. What is one habit you've developed, and how can you actively apply it to a real-life situation today? By identifying an opportunity to use your habit, you bring your growth journey into the present, turning intention into action. Remember, each step you take strengthens your habits, helping you shape a life that aligns with your values and goals. Applying growth in action is the bridge that connects where you are to where you aspire to be. Chapter 10. Beyond the Journey, Sustaining Lifelong Growth. Growth isn't a destination we reach and stop. It's an ongoing journey that continually evolves as we do. Once we've made progress, the next step is finding ways to sustain and nurture that growth over time. Lifelong growth is about staying open to new experiences, continually refining our habits, and embracing each new challenge as an opportunity to learn. This final chapter explores how to maintain the momentum we've built and turn our progress into a lasting lifestyle. By committing to lifelong growth, we ensure that our journey remains rewarding, adaptable, and fulfilling. One of the key elements to sustaining growth is maintaining a mindset of curiosity. Curiosity keeps us engaged, open to learning, and excited about new possibilities. When we approach life with curiosity, we see each experience as an opportunity to gain insight and expand our understanding. Consider Adam, who had spent years developing his career as a software engineer. While he had achieved success, he knew that curiosity would keep him evolving in his field. Adam frequently explored emerging technologies, attended workshops, and collaborated with peers to stay updated and inspired. His curiosity allowed him to continue growing and adapting, ensuring that his skills remained relevant and his passion for his work stayed alive. By cultivating curiosity, we can keep our growth journey vibrant and stay motivated to learn new things as life progresses. Another important aspect of lifelong growth is embracing a growth-oriented routine that evolves with us. Just as we've built routines that support our goals, these routines should adapt to our changing circumstances and needs. Let's take Emily, a teacher who had created a solid morning routine to help her stay productive. Over time, she found her priorities shifting, and she realized her routine needed updating. She began including time for creative activities like journaling and reading, which helped her stay refreshed and inspired. Emily's willingness to adjust her routine allowed her to sustain her growth in a way that suited her current needs. Flexibility ensures that our routines don't become stagnant, allowing us to meet each phase of life with a supportive structure. Reflection is another powerful tool for sustaining growth. By taking time to review our journey, we gain a better understanding of our progress and can identify areas for improvement. Reflection allows us to celebrate our achievements while staying aware of where we want to continue growing. Think of Laura, a small business owner who made it a habit to reflect on her progress each month. She reviewed her goals, noted her accomplishments, and identified lessons from any setbacks. This practice kept her grounded, helping her see how far she had come and where she could direct her efforts next. Regular reflection helps us stay connected to our journey, enabling us to approach each new chapter of life with intention and purpose. To sustain lifelong growth, it's also so essential to embrace the concept of resilience as a continuous practice. Challenges will continue to arise, but each obstacle offers a chance to strengthen our resilience and grow even further. Take John, who had been working on improving his physical health through regular exercise. When he encountered an injury that limited his routine, he chose to see this setback as a lesson in resilience. Rather than giving up, he adapted his exercise plan to focus on activities that wouldn't aggravate his injury. This resilience allowed him to stay committed to his growth without letting temporary limitations define his journey. Lifelong growth means recognizing that each setback is a stepping stone, helping us cultivate strength and adaptability. An often overlooked aspect of sustaining growth is finding ways to give back. When we share what we've learned or offer support to others on their journey, we reinforce our own growth. Teaching, mentoring, or simply sharing insights with friends can deepen our understanding and remind us of our progress. Take Rachel, who had developed strong organizational skills through years of personal effort. She began mentoring new employees at her company, sharing tips and techniques that had helped her. This act of giving back not only reinforced her own habits, but also brought her a sense of fulfillment, knowing she was helping others succeed. Giving back creates a sense of purpose, connecting our growth to a broader impact and ensuring that our journey remains meaningful. Finally, sustaining lifelong growth requires a commitment to self-compassion. Growth isn't always linear, and there will be times when progress seems slow or challenges feel overwhelming. Practicing self-compassion means treating ourselves with kindness, accepting our imperfections, and allowing ourselves the patience to grow at our own pace. Consider Sarah, who had set ambitious goals to improve her career skills. Some months brought rapid progress, while others felt stagnant. By practicing self-compassion, Sarah reminded herself that growth ebbs and flows, and she celebrated each small achievement rather than focusing on perceived setbacks. Self-compassion allows us to stay grounded, maintain our motivation, and trust the journey, even when it unfolds in unexpected ways. As you reflect on your journey, consider this question: how can you continue to nurture your growth in a way that remains fulfilling and adaptable? Think about one habit, mindset, or practice you can carry forward, allowing it to evolve as you do. Remember, lifelong growth is a choice, a commitment to staying open, curious, and engaged with each new chapter of life. By sustaining our progress, we create a journey that's not only meaningful but also deeply rewarding, filled with endless opportunities to learn, grow, and make a positive impact on the world around us. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Success Path, Strengthen Habits for Personal Growth. Throughout the book, we explored ways to build a foundation of positive habits, set meaningful goals, cultivate resilience, and apply these habits in everyday life to achieve lasting personal growth. Each chapter focused on practical steps to help you create a life aligned with your values, making your goals attainable and meaningful. Remember, growth is a continuous journey, a series of small, consistent actions that lead to big changes over time. We hope these insights inspire and support you as you move forward. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more content that empowers and motivates. Your support helps us continue sharing valuable resources for personal development. Thank you, and best of luck on your journey to lasting success.